All right, Taj, I got a question for you.
What's up, Schaefer?
Who's Chad?
Who is Chad?
I don't know. Am I supposed to know?
He's our token Canadian. It's in our employee handbook that we have to have a Canadian with us. And because Pete is not here, Chad had to come.
You know those Canadians, they always just show up places. Hey, I'm Chad. And we were like, cool. And he just started working.
Chad is here for these 2 races doing forks with me. He comes from the Vancouver Service Centre.
Says he lives in Vancouver, wherever that is.
Chad worked with us last year. He helped out. And he's from the Vancouver office. And he's come over to help us for snowshoe on Mont Sainte Anne.
Nobody's really named Chad, are they?
I'm Chad, or Chade. I go by many names.
Chad von Quackenbush III.
No, I'm just here to give a hand. Here to lend a hand. Fixing forks. Lower services, a lot of lower services.
So that's Chad, in a nutshell. Services, suspension.
Today is the last track walk of the season, and when we found out the race was in October, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bummed that I was gonna miss leaf peeping season back home, but this might turn out to be the greatest leaf peeping hike of the season. It's beautiful up here, the weather's great. If we gotta end on a track walk, I think this is the one to do it.
Mont Sainte Anne, man, what a sick track. This is probably my favorite, the most legendary venue, I think, for me. Raced my first World Cup here in 2015, plate 124, full privateer in the USA jersey. Fell in love, man.
The track in Sainte Anne has everything, especially this year. We've got some new loamy sections, some berms, some little like poppy lips. It's literally got everything, and it's all-time, full-time.
I would say like a proper downhill track, which is sick. And it's dry actually. We all thought we were going to get bad weather, but it's super dry. Last time I rode here was 2019, so first time seeing a lot of the new sections for me.
It's going to be insane. It's fast. It's really dry right now. There's one little bog, but it's bone dry right now. But it looks like a big storm Saturday.
Quite dry at the moment. I'm surprised. I packed all my rain gear and all my warm clothes, and it's like 25 degrees and sunshine. There's a few new sections up on top which looking really good, lomas. So I'm quite keen to ride.
Compared especially to last week, it's really high speeds, a lot of momentum you have to carry, but it's super fun. It's always a good one. It's more about letting kind of off the brakes than actual pedaling or stuff like that. So it's always a really fun one, and we've got some pretty great weather this week so far, so can't complain.
Mont Sainte Anne has been one of those like flat out venues. It has some technical spots where you have to slow up, but overall it's like a dirt bike track. It's flat out. You feel like you're ripping the whole time. You're going super fast. They did a ton of work up top and it looks really good. Some fresh sections, and then there's a good mix. They did put a couple of narrower corners in, but overall it just has like that good mix of like flat out speed, technical stuff, like precise, sick corners.
Real cool like sandy dirt mixed with rock that's been in the same place for the whole time we've been racing here, I guess. So got a few different options. They tape it in, but a section like this, these rocks have been the same since I started coming here. So kind of you got the kind of, you're familiar with the terrain, but it always seems to just change that little bit, but always goes well in the wet as well.
So it's really long and rough. It's like perfect, and it's in really good condition. It's really dry, and I like it like that. The top's a little wet, but that'll dry out fine. But everything else is really good.
So Mont Sainte Anne is pretty long. It's pretty rough, but they fixed some sections, and I think it's the first proper loam this year.
Really?
Yeah. Some nice fresh loam. So yeah, long, rough, and nice, fun.
I think this year it changes quite a bit with the first wood section they changed. It's a lot of loam, fresh section, looks insane to me. I think definitely my favorite Mont Sainte Anne I've ever seen, so yeah, looks sick. It's going to be physical, that's for sure.
In the woods it's like sort of single track, one line, and then like in the open down here we've got fast. There's a new section that I've put in which looks really good. So I feel like it's just like a really good variety of a proper downhill track. And I mean, Mont Sainte Anne has always been the best for making, I guess, downhill look great, because it's like super high speed, rough, physical. It's got everything that you kind of really want in a downhill track.
And then do you have any pre-race traditions or habits or superstitions?
Depending on how my weekend goes, really, like first day of practice sort of sets the tone for how I'm feeling for the rest of the weekend. But normally, like, I guess an hour before my run, I go to the top, chill for, I don't know, like 10-20 minutes, and then get into warm up, sort of visualize the track, and then rip into it. I kind of like to be as warm as possible and not sort of cool down before my run. So all depends on the weekend and how it's going.
I mean, I've got a warm-up routine, and it's pretty much always the same. What I always like to do is doing some games with my mechanic, like either some slaps or catching rocks, just to turn my head on. And when I can beat him in that, I know I'm in a good shape and ready to race. So.
Got a couple. I mean, I stick to my warm-up pretty well, like do the same warm-up every time. But I guess make sure you eat at the right time, make sure you don't miss your start time. Other than that, it's a warm-up and go. Yeah, I like to keep it fairly simple on race day.
So I would never normally, I played ice hockey younger, and like in the playoffs, they never shave after they start, or that was what we got told when we were kids. So if I started a race week, I couldn't shave during the race week. But last week I like fully broke that. I was like, nah man, I want to shave, I'm shaving. And I was like, I've never run a race, and I've always keep the non-shave. So I was like, maybe it'll help, maybe I can change this. It didn't help, I didn't win a race, but I did all right. So that was like the main thing. Anything else? Nah, I think just ride fast.
I used to have a beer every night before the race. I have slightly broken that now. I was afraid before I would crash if I didn't have one drink the night before the race, and sometimes it was even true, but maybe it's just in my head. So broke the superstition. Now nothing too crazy, no real rituals. I put brand new gloves on for every race run just because I like the fit, but not because there's no lucky socks or lucky gloves. Or oh, one thing I don't do is wear white gloves and white goggles. That crash every time. Every time.
Not really. I have, like, my gloves have to be like fresh gloves, like either like freshly washed or like brand new, because I can't deal with like the bagginess. I feel like it's like putting on a worn sock. It feels a bit weird. So that's about it. And no, that's literally it. I try not to have superstitions. I'm one of those people that's like, no, come on, we don't have to do this.
Yeah, I got a few. I don't know, I'm not very superstitious. Well, and then I say this, that like I double tap my helmet twice. I do like the same routine before the start, but it's mainly just to keep it the same, and you kind of then you know you're ready. So
no, I don't do anything. I'm just kind of go with the flow.
So the only track walk I'd done this year was Leergang. Don't know why, and I haven't done one since. And Andy won in Leergang, so here I am on doing my bit on track walk, so he can win. You should see these go though. If you want to see anything faster on track walk, that is the one.
Rest day superstitions. I wore these at World Champs. Charlie won, but Charlie's not here, so he can't. I don't think he can win this week. I think he's out of the running. Yeah, but RIP Charlie, we love you. Miss you, brother.
He would like this track.
Yeah.
He would give this track a big. It's pretty easy, just a normal warm up. I do a lot of visualizing, like just go through a track several times till I really feel like I'm nearly riding it. And I think when I go to a start, I'm just like thankful to be here and stuff like this. So just appreciate life.
No, I just try to enjoy it as much as I can. Done all the work over the winter, so the racing is just the bonus to enjoy it.
Do you have any pre-service traditions or superstitions?
Superstitions?
Yeah.
I like to keep my hands really clean. So I wipe my hands down a lot. I don't know if you've noticed that. Not really a superstition, but you know.
I'm gonna say when I see like someone else's decals on them, it's just always like for sure that I'm gonna find something weird inside the shot. Wrong, I mean not wrong O-rings, but just like different O-rings or things like that, like different parts that we've never seen before.
No, because if you start that nonsense, then the one time you don't do it, You blame it on everything. You just got to come in and do your best work.
It's quite hard to explain, but if you say someone's going to do well, you jinx them. Because I tend to find when I'm watching and I'm like, oh my god, they're having a really good run, then they crash. So now I mostly sit in silence until after they're done.
I definitely don't have superstitions. That's nonsense. I try to shave on race day because I probably haven't all week, so come out a little cleaner than normal. Might even shower. And then I try to eat a bunch of horrible food and feel a lot of regret.
Can you just talk to me a bit about the track? What's it like here?
I think most people really enjoy it. It is probably quite scary because there are some full-on, like, wide open sections. Quite a few of them, really. So it's fast. Some good steep bits, some big rock sections. Like, it's got a big mix of everything. I've heard the mid section is almost all new now, and people seem really stoked on it. So that's exciting. It's been hit or miss in years past. Like, a couple times it's just full on like 60K fire road. But it's a great track.
It's hard to imagine conditions being any more perfect than they were today for the final track walk of the season. This track is just iconic, and from what everyone's saying, the changes all seem to be really positive. So we will see you tomorrow when the real fun begins with practice. We've gotten a few questions about how we decide which athletes make it in the episodes and whatnot. It turns out there's one very important qualifier that gets teams into the episodes.
Today we have,
ooh,
this looks like an Odie chocolate slice. And this one's like got dates in and stuff.
Oh,
let's try that shit.
Looks amazing.
Ooh. Thanks, boys.
Dang. How is it, Chief?
So good. So good. What are we thinking? That's good. Yeah?
Oh, your good snacks.